Hey, checking in with the first three chapters, nearly the first three chapters of Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Wtr Dancer, 2019 novel set in antebellum, I think it's what it's called, um, the South during slavery, um, and opens with Hiram High being transported in a carriage with his brother, his half brother, who is white and kind of holds him, I guess, in chains as they're going across a bridge. But he has a vision of his mother, and the carriage goes into the water, and he, his brother drowns, and he seems to get things go black or something like that. Um, and suddenly we go back in time to when he was 11 and his mother had just been sold by his father, the white John Walker, the master of the thing. Um, and we get to know him. He has a photographic memory, but he can't remember his mother. He can't remember his mother at all. Um, he's only got kind of like basically fog where his mother is, and but he's slowly kind of assembling a portrait of her from like all the other um, taskers, which is what the slaves are called on this thing. They're called taskers, whereas the whites are called quality. Um, and he is down in the fields. Um, he is one day he's on in the fields and he sees his father watching them, and he starts singing and doing perfect imitations of all those around him because of, I guess, it's sort of his memory. And his father notices him, flicks him a coin, and he gets called up to the house. And the woman who had been like taking care of him after his mother had gotten sold, is like, remember, they are not your family. You know, you know they you might be of his blood, but you are not his family. Don't ever forget that, because they you are just, you know, you get the sense it's just like, you're just a hunk of meat to them. You're just property. You're something for them to abuse and discard or sell. And he goes up to the house, and he's doing tasks. And there's a dinner party where everyone's getting drunk. Apparently, the area is not doing well. The whites are slowly moving away. The crops have gotten crappier and crappier and crappier, just like it's going downhill. So this is like a party. It's like almost a farewell party. Like a lot of them might be leaving soon after this, and so it turns pretty sour. And one of the white women suddenly goes, sing to me, she says to one of them, and then she slaps him, and he realizes, like, the most dangerous type of white is a bored white. They go barbaric. They'll set aside all their gentility because they're bored, and then they do anything to you. We're just chess pieces to them. And so he performs a bunch of tricks for them. His photographic memory. He can memorize all these kind of letter cards with little rhymes on them. He actually can't read, but he actually heard his brother um, reading them, fumblingly reading them, and so he's memorized them all. And she can hold up any one, like shuffle, like, to show him the order, and then she can hold them up with the back facing and do any of them. And then the next game is he gets them all to tell a story going all the way down the line, like, however many there are. And then he goes back to each one of them and recounts the story with embellishments. So not only is he just memorized, but he's also got creativity. Um, and his brother, who is a buffoon and not an intellect, he's got a tutor, and the tutor is like, takes an interest in him and teaches him and he's like, oh, wow, I'm learning so much, I'm really going up in the world. I'm gonna be, I'm going to be something. At which point his father says, well, your lessons are done. You're now going to be your brother's manservant. He needs all the help he can get, and you're a smart black, and I wouldn't sell you, even though someone else would have sold you because you're worth a lot of money. It's like, no, I'm gonna hold on to you, and you're gonna boy up, boy up your useless brother. And he's kind of like, as is like, it's so there's 7 years of that, and it's just like slowly the insult of it all kind of came more and more crashing down on him, and he suddenly realizes exactly how much just all the genius and brilliance and hard work of the blacks are propping up the whites, whose basically biggest ambition is to be slothful and to be, basically, just become more and more ruined and dissipated. Um, and that, everything is constructed to try and hide the blacks, to hide all of their contributions, to hide all their labor, so that they're almost invisible. Or, the black people up at the house are so polished and shined that they just seem like a part of, like, the lovely furniture of the place. Um, so yeah, that's where I am so far. I was a little bit at the beginning, was like, oh, it's a slave narrative. It's like I've read and seen a lot of slave narratives, and I was actually thinking about Colson Whitehead, which I didn't get along with his Underground Railroad, or I basically it went over my head. I was just too dull for it, but it did it in a different fashion. But as we're going along, you're starting to see, like, this guy is super brilliant. He is like super brilliant. He's like, and he's got very high. The narrator is very high diction. This isn't, using simple words. This is a guy who obviously has, as he's gone along, has sucked up more and more and more knowledge, and it's all there, all at the tip of his tongue. And is a brilliant guy. He's not just like some savant, but is a brilliant guy. So it's kind of we've kind of popped in to, this is interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. And we have this whole thing of the visions of his mother uh, at the very beginning. So we'll see how it develops. It's gotten better as it goes along. It's narrated by Joe Morton, which I believe is of, like, Terminator T2 fame, and so is doing quite the good job narrating. So yes, we will continue from there. More videos later.